again to y'all from beautiful Alpharetta, Georgia. This is the second age of reason, and I'm here to talk about something that is of interest to some people. It's something known as a national debt. This is money that the government spends that they don't tax. And you would think if you don't have it, don't spend it. But they spend it anyway, and it goes into a tab known as a national debt. And a lot of them say that they're borrowing money, and they make it so it's a debt on every one of us. But that's only in a philosophical sense, sort of. The idea is people are thinking to get money you have to borrow money that you don't have. Which is alright if it's just a temporary setback and you're going to be able to pay the loan back. But if it's a chronic thing that happens over and over and over again, borrowing is not the answer. The answer is either increasing your income or decreasing your spending. Now, the other problem is that they're borrowing money. They issue bonds with interest on them, and that becomes a debt offering. And at some point, people are going to redeem those bonds, and they're going to want real money in return. So that's another problem there. But I was thinking that it sort of implies in the Constitution that the government can create the money, can create the currency that we have. They can just make it, and as they publish the money, that becomes a national debt. You say, but a debt to who? Well, you don't have to borrow money to make that money. And you say, well, that's just print and press money. Well, yeah, it is. And of course, print and press money, which has been around for a while, is backed by faith, and only faith, and nothing real. So as long as you have faith in it, it's worth something. Of course, that's true of gold, too. As long as you have faith that gold is of any value, it is. But anyway, back to money. The problem is that people think that you borrow money from banks, you get money from banks. And while banks are the conduits, they're the channel that money travels through, they're not the creators of money. Well, they shouldn't be. Actually, the government should be the creators of money. And that way, things have a better prioritization. Think of it. Now, if the money originated from the government, and the government never had to borrow it, they wouldn't be worrying about, are we going to pay China back ever? Are we going to pay Russia back ever? Or whoever we borrow money from. They would just be publishing it. And why can't they do that? Because the banks want to have the upper hand. The banks want to have control. So if the banks are loaning money, then they have some say in the matter. But they don't have to borrow money from the banks. They can just make it. That then takes them off the accountability to banks and can take away the problem of interest. Because if they have to pay interest, that's a huge part of the debt. So that's something to think about. If they are the origin of money, they don't have to charge themselves interest, and then they can be more efficient with the money. So I thought I'd mention that for this morning, and we'll be seeing you.